Alright, welcome back ladies and gentlemen to the GSL Code A. I am Moltrap, and we are here in the secondary studio at the GOM TV offices in Seoul, Korea. I'm going to be solo casting this the rest of the matches as well. If you're just joining us, we are in the middle of this set of Code A matches. We're going to be starting with set number 3. Well, I guess that's a little bit strange to say. Sometimes people say set and referring to the number of games in the series. This is going to be matchup number 3, Zenio versus Mujuk. We're going to get started right now. Alright, and here we have, over at the right-hand side of the map, Belshire Beach, our Terran player, a new kid on the block. Can he sing the song of victory today? It is none other than Mujuk. And Mujuk currently does not have a team, by the way, as far as I know. And as far as we knew yesterday, this player did not have a team, but in fact, the announcement has just been made official. This is now none other than Liquid Zenio. Zenio's just been picked up by Team Liquid, and that was kind of a funny thing where, if you guys didn't catch it, Liquid had put out a mysterious tweet where they had the outline of a character or of a person and with a date, and everyone said, oh, they're going to add a new player, and someone figured out that the outline was similar to the outline of Zenio from some picture of him. So people were kind of expecting it to be Zenio, especially since he left OGS, just about a week ago, and without really having too special of a reason. Anyway, so Zenio's just been picked up by Team Liquid. He's going to be playing against Mujuk, who I think was on Team Zenex, but I have him listed as not being on a team right now, so I'm not exactly sure what his status is, but here he is in the GSL. Zenio's going to go ahead and fast expand. Very standard stuff. And Mujuk is over here going for that gas after his barracks. Would not be surprised to see him. Well, actually, the gas is a little bit late to get a factory down too quickly, so I'm not sure if we're going to see a quick Hellion build this time around. That would be the standard thing to do, but we'll find out pretty soon. Oh, good to know there's a little gap at the top of that. And Drone, actually, I don't know if the drone knows he could get in there. That would have been really nice for him to get in there and scout that gas, actually, and he actually just decided not to. So that's a little bit interesting. Remember, by the way, this is the round of 48 of Code A, so people that are playing today, if you get eliminated, you're out of Code A completely. And so a lot is on the line here, especially, considering for Zenio. Well, a lot is on the line for both players, obviously. There's that factory. He's just going to get out some Marines here. Sorry, I don't play Terran. I don't know the exact timings of those builds there. I thought the factory was... could have had it up a little bit earlier, but this is going to enable him to get... Okay, so this is actually pretty standard. I'm just an idiot today. And didn't get too much sleep last night. I was actually up till 11 a.m. watching MLG, and that drone just really wants to live. Is it going to make another gas? Nope. Drone dies. Desperation move there. Now, Mujuk has gone in here and he's scouted everything in Zenio's base, by the way. He knows exactly what's going on. The reactor is almost completed. The factory is waiting impatiently for that barracks to be done with its work so it can take over the reactor and go ahead and start making some Hellions. Zenio's going to have to respond with something. He's going to have to at least get a spine here. He does have speed on the way, but he's going to need something to deal with those Hellions more than just the queens. He is starting another queen here at this expansion, though, so he might be able to deal with it in that way, I suppose. If it's only a couple of Hellions, but if he follows up with more Hellions, it's going to be tough for just the queen to deal with. And Mujuk is going ahead and expanding off this as well. By the way, a little bit of information about Mujuk while he sends his Hellions across the map. He is actually, by the way, some players, if you're familiar with Brood War, there's a player named Mujuk who is a pro Brood War player, not the best, but He's a name that you might recognize at least. And this is actually not the same Mujuk. Here comes those Hellions, just poking, seeing that queen, and falling back. And wait for more, I guess. There's no spine crawler at all. Okay, we do. No, that's a roach horn going up, so he's gonna get some roaches out to deal with this. Creeping everything up so that those speedlings, well, actually soon to be speedlings, speed is not quite finished yet, can at least catch up and surround those Hellions easier on the creep. This is not the same Mujuk as the Brood War Mujuk, by the way, so don't get him confused there. He's participated in a couple qualifiers before. He actually came somewhat close to qualifying in October and was defeated by Hero, another Liquid member, actually, in the round of 4 of that preliminary. But he did qualify this season, so looking to be in pretty good shape. Used to be on the Rex team, apparently, according to Liquipedia. Excellent site as well. Love Team Liquid Player Database. Best tool ever for knowing what players have been up to. This Overlord's going to come in the back, try and scout what's going on in the main, at least try and see if he can find any tech buildings. He has mounted 6 Hellions now out at the front here. Is he going to go for some kind of attack? There are 4 roaches, so probably not. They're going to try and come down here and pick off these Hellions before they can do any good. And yeah, Mujuk is falling a little bit behind in the supply count, but he is upgrading Cloak right here. Oh, apparently the scroll wheel isn't set to zoom in on this computer. I should have checked my settings in between games. And yeah, so Cloak is upgrading right now. He's going to have 2 Banshees out with Cloak for too long. These Hellions just dancing around the middle map, trying to avoid those roaches. Going to sneak around, and he is actually going to try to just take that Xel'Naga Watchtower in the process. I don't know if he's going to actually go in here and do an attack or not. Is he going to go in? He's just going to kill off some spine crawlers. The roaches are actually not even pursuing them. Roaches are just going down here to scout if there's a third, but he does have more roaches out to use to stop that. Now, here's the thing. He just has those roaches. He's getting a Bailey nest as well. Does he have an Evo chamber? He does not have anything at all. Oh, never mind. He does have an Evo chamber. Never mind. He has an Evo chamber. False alarm. And Spore Crawler is going up in response to seeing these Banshees out on the middle map, picking off roaches. Banshees are actually very, very good against roaches. Obviously, since roaches cannot return fire at all. But yes, Zenio is able to put up a few spores all around his base in order to counteract these Banshees. Here comes the first Banshees coming in. They're going to try and do some damage. Immediately have to fall back from that Spore Crawler. He does cloak so the Queen can't hunt him down. But an Overseer starts morphing in immediately. Zenio, playing everything right here, is going to probably be able to take care of this. Now, of course, there's the Overseer. Cloak is now negated. The Queens go to work on those Banshees, and we have a grand total of 5 kills, and that is including a few roaches. So, yeah, only 5 workers killed, I guess, by those in general throughout the course of this game. Zenio's going out and droning up his new 3rd base here, and the Banshees are like, alright, that's cool, we'll take some of that. And some of that. And will he get a 3rd drone? Nope, doesn't look like he's going to... Whoop, he does get a 3rd drone as well. Starting to finally get some kills on these Banshees. And we're going to try and get a Roach kill as well, but the Roach is just a little too buff for that. He's going to be forced to fall back from those Queens and the Overseer as well. And in response, we do have Mujuk following up with Thors. He's actually getting a lot of Thors to counter those roaches that we've got out on the map. Surprised he's not getting more siege tanks, actually. But, you know, maybe he's worried that there's a Muta-switch going on, and he is rightfully so. He did see that Spire when he was in the base with his Banshees, of course, so he's able to respond to that. And is getting out those Thors as a response. And there he goes with those Banshees. And you know what? The Banshees basically force Mutas. You can basically force Mutalisks with that, because there's no other way for Zenio to move out onto the map. If there's Banshees around, you cannot move out with just roaches, or the Banshees will just destroy you. You can't get out very far. You can get, I guess you can get just Queens, but it's difficult to pull off, and the Queens are very slow off of creep. So you basically force the Mutalisks with the Banshees, and so it's not surprising to see him getting mass Thors in response to that. Very smartly done by Mujuk. But Zenio again has that third base up. He's getting a fourth. Oh, more harassment going on with those Banshees. And those Banshees are staying alive pretty well. 12 kills on one now and 1 kill on the other. I guess they're just feeding the one. Oh, there those Banshees go down. Never mind. That was the end of those Banshees' lives. They did get a good amount of kills. Mujuk turreting up his base very heavily. He is really strongly defended here. He's got lots of turrets. He's got Thors everywhere. He is just going to be so solid in his defense against these Mutalisks. I don't think they're going to really accomplish much at all. Here they come in trying to do some damage. They see the turret initially balk at it, but then decide to turn and attack, and one volley from those Thors is enough to make those Mutas think twice. And the second thinking makes them think this base should leave. Very nice creep spread by Zenio here, by the way. Still has the tower as well. And this is going to start to get really bad for Mujuk in just a short amount of time if he doesn't do something quick, because he's basically just trying to build up a lot of forces, but he only has these 2 bases. Zenio's coming in to do a little bit of harassment again. There's actually no Thors in the back here of his main, so he's going to have to bring one of those Thors back. And there we go. The siege tanks are out now to accompany. I like that. The siege tanks, when they siege up, can just do so much damage against well, anything on the ground, basically. I'm thinking the roaches specifically, but if Zerglings are packed up and they get hit by a siege tank volley, that can be bad as well. And there is a bunch of Lings coming out there. Zenio morphing some Banelings as well. And he's got just those several Mutas. I like how he stopped building the Mutas. He's like, alright, you know what? You have 3 Thors and a bunch of turrets. I'm not going to make any more Mutalisks. Those are not going to do any good to make. And so, oh, nicely done. Seeing with his creep tumors that the Hellions were coming, immediately runs those drones away before they were in any danger. Lots of Zerglings on the map here as well. Total of 65 Zerglings. There's a lot of pairs, and then one Zergling just doesn't have the one it hatched with, I guess. Anyway, Mujuk is moving out on the map now. He's got these Banshees here. He's got a few Thors. He's got a lot of siege tanks, but he just does not have the supply to deal with this. And Zenio, oh, he's not quite going to go in yet. He's still just mounting his force here. Might go around the side and go for a flank attack at the same time. We're going to find out. Is he going to go for that flank? He is moving all of his forces around. He's just going for a counter at this new third of Mujuk. And is going to be forced to retreat, though. But, yeah, I mean, this actually... Zenio could probably just aim-move his army and just killed all of that, actually. Oh no, the Hellions are off on the side, but they are getting to these Zerglings, and they're going to roast some Zerglings with the Blue Flame upgrade. Meanwhile, Zenio going in with a lot of stuff here. He's going to try and blow up all the SCVs. The SCVs running for dear life, and I'll take some hits on those Hellions instead, says Zenio. Gets some good damage done on those Hellions, takes out about half of them, and I'm hearing some Zerglings killing a refinery over here as well. Zenio has such a good economy right now, it is just ridiculous. In fact, we look at the income tab, Zenio has 3 times the supply of Mujuk right now, which is just disgusting. There's a Raven out now. I like the addition of the Raven. I don't know why Terran players don't get Ravens more often, to be honest with you. Attacking the front as well, while he's drawn his forces back to deal with those Zerglings. And he's going to get some free kills there at the front with some roaches. Zenio's income is just so strong. But again, I was just talking about before, I like the Raven. Where'd it go? There's the Raven. He can start clearing out creep tumors. He can make sure he doesn't get hit by Baneling landmines or anything like that. And here is Mujuk moving out on the map. But Zenio, with such a strong economy, is remaxing very quickly. He's getting a bunch of infestors. And actually, he's not remaxing that quickly. He needs to get some units out here on the map. He's got the money for a bunch of roaches, but he's not spending it. He may be waiting for a hive tech, trying to save up that money, but he needs to save this 4th base right now. Raven is in play, making sure he kills all the creep tumors as he advances, and Mujuk is just shelling this 4th base. Of course, this 5th will then become the 4th base, I guess. It was the 5th base that he took, but he's still at 4 bases. But maybe not for long, because Mujuk wants to go ahead and roast those drones. There is not really too much over here. I mean, there's a few spine crawlers, but you can easily run behind here and still take out those drones, but Mujuk decides against it. And here comes a large Ling Roach force. Mujuk unsieged, He does siege up, but the Zerglings are already in amongst his tanks, and everything goes down to the sheer mass of forces of Mujuk. He's kind of just a defensive planetary at this choke point here. That is his only saving grace for this attack here. And Zenio's not done yet, though. He's running around the side with these roaches. The Zerglings coming in as well. He's going to try and take out some SCVs, just forced to lift, and not too many losses there from Mujuk. But Zenio's economy is just so good right now. He's got really good saturation at all three of these bases, trying to get this base back up again. He's got the infestors as well, and he finally did spend that money. He is almost maxed again, so extremely sizable army for Zenio. Mujuk just not macroing as well as Zenio basically in this point. He has gotten his income back up very high though. He's gotten harvesters back over here at this third base. He's I thought he was going to build his command center to try and take a fourth here, but I guess he's not. Looks like a Banshee gets fungled and then owned by a Mutalisk. Alien's running around. He really just needs to do something. Mujuk needs to do something soon. Well, he needs to do two things. He needs to do either something soon, like try and harass Zenio, try and get some, good Hellion drops in, or he needs to do nothing for a while, if that makes sense. Basically, his only hope at this point would be to just bunker, just turtle off of these three bases, and try to get a maxed army, and then move out with a maxed army and try and kill Zenio in one fell swoop, basically. And, wow, 99 harvesters. I got 99 harvesters, but a probate 1. Oh, there's these Hellion harass. This is a good thing for him to do. Again, this isn't really going to hurt Zenio that much, though, because, oh, he lines him up. Oh, lines him up for a big... No, he attacks the spine crawler instead of the drones. Horrible mistake by Mujuk. He had a chance to really cut down about a quarter or a third of Zenio's economy, but instead Zenio's economy is still going strong. Here's a little bit of a drop coming in the back of Mujuk's base. His army is way out of position here at the front lines. He's having to bring back a couple of 4s to deal with this in a single siege tank, and the SCVs are there as well. There's not a lot of Zerglings, so he should be able to clean this up with just a few giant mech units, but he's losing a lot of depots and such as well in the meantime. Didn't really lose any SCVs, but well, it doesn't even matter. He's only got 10 minerals left at this mineral field. So everything gets cleaned up, but Zenio again has the money to burn, and at the same time, he is building three Ultralisks. Oh my god, there they are. 6 Ultralisks, 5 more in production. 3 is about 30 to 45 seconds away from completing. This is going to be disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And let's not forget that he has some infestors which each have neural parasite available to them. So, oh my god, he is going to do an Ultralisk drop. He's probably going to, in fact, he may even do a rolling Ultralisk drop. He's got more Ultralisks. He should wait for the rest of them instead of just going in with several of them and probably losing them. Let's see if Mujuk, he's pulled back his forces from the back to the front again. Oh, a little bit of a fake drop there. Viking pinning down those overlords, making sure that drops are not going to be as easy for him to pull off. A little surprised not to see a sensor tower out of Mujuk, actually. But yeah, look at this. He's got several Thors here in the front and several tanks, but that is a ton of Ultralisks. The Ultralisks and Zerglings going in to try and take the damage. He is targeting on the overlords, but so many Ultralisks being dropped on that army. He does neural parasite the Thors as well. The Thors turning against each other, but just so much firepower. Massive snipes coming out from the Ghosts, and so much tank and Thor fire going down that Zenio loses every single Ultralisk, and he is forced to remax off Zerglings because he did not really have, well, he actually had the gas for more Ultralisks, but he decided not to use it. So very, very wasteful attack there by Zenio. He still has the advantage. He's still way ahead, but he's now in a little bit of danger. Mujuk seizing his opportunity before the rest of these units come out to try and do some damage to Zenio, try and take out this base. Once again, he's taken out before. He built a lot of spine crawlers to free up supply for ultras and what have you. So those are going to soak up some damage from these, and here comes the attack from Zenio. Lots of Zerglings crashing in. Banelings as well are going to go straight for the Hellions. Beautiful attack there. A couple snipes going down from the Ghost in the back. Is going to soften up those Ultralists just barely enough. Wait, is he going to be able to... Is he? No, just barely able to kill that Ultralist before it killed another Thor. And more Thors coming in as well. This is turning into a crazy game. Vikings just having their way with the Overlords, though. Looks like they did get fungled and infested Terran, and he's actually not paying attention. He needs to save those Vikings. Oh, loses a Viking. Not paying attention to them at all. And he's actually going to send those Vikings back in to die again. That was an interesting decision there. I like the decision to go with some Vikings, by the way, though. He has supply block Zenio, so Zenio can't remax as quickly. That base is not going to happen. And he's going to be able to kill off just some random Overlords and such. And base, wow, this is actually doing really well. Where did those Infestors go? They are down here at the third, rampaging away along with the the Ultralisks and the Zerglings. Sorry I missed the beginning of that. He went in with a lot of forces there. And very nicely done by Zenio. Good little attack there, stopping that base from mining. And Mujuk, as you can see there, he didn't have any even resources left at that base. GG's, and leaves the game. And so Liquid Zenio, almost went OGS, but he's now Liquid Zenio, takes game number 1. And very, very strong showing by Zenio. He basically just outclassed Mujuk there, pretty much. And, you know, it's interesting that we see him playing pretty well here. He is traditionally pretty good against Terran players. Zenio is actually best in Zerg versus Zerg, which is kind of funny for him because he, well, he hasn't met a Zerg in tournament play in like 8 months. So unfortunately for him, he's not able to play his best matchup in tournaments. But he can be good against Terran. He only has a 40% win rate, 42% win rate against Terrans, though. But he has been known to beat some decent players in the past. I mean, actually in August, in Code's August, he looked pretty good. He beat ASD, he beat Bjorn. He then took a game off Top, but Top ended up eliminating him. But Top eliminating him was the beginning of an 8-game losing streak for Zenio. He then lost in Code S in October, lost every single game in his up and down group as well. So things just went horribly for Zenio. He is just fighting to stay alive right now. And here we are. We're going to get game number 2 started in just a moment. Mujuk fighting to make his debut count, and Zenio fighting to stay alive in the GSL. We're going to find out what happens in just a second.